What's up guys, Tyrai521 back for another LEGO custom painted minifigure showcase, and in this one we have my LEGO Twin Peaks custom painted Agent Dale Cooper minifigure. Now Twin Peaks is a TV series I started watching back in the summer, around like July, August I believe, and it is an older show. It came out in the early 1990s. There was a season 3, a revival season that came out in 2017, but it essentially revolves around the small town of Twin Peaks in Washington. And the death of the town's prom queen, named Laura Palmer. You think she was this very innocent girl who got caught up in some really ugly circumstances, but over the course of the show, during the investigation of her death, you figure out that she wasn't so innocent, and she had some secrets. And the show is essentially about how the characters in the town react to everything that's unfolding, all the truths that are revealed, that spiraled out of control following her death. It's a very odd show. It's so many genres mixed into one, which is why the show is so revolutionary and why it's as famous as it is, and why it was so big when it first aired on TV. It was really the first show to blend genres. It's part soap opera, it's part procedural crime drama with the with the police elements investigating her death. There's supernatural elements to it that make it a little bit more of a kind of a supernatural, creepy show, almost like X-Files type, tone-wise. But it is a very, very bizarre show. It ran for 2 seasons. It kind of spiraled out of control after the killer was revealed at the end of in the halfway point of season 2. It kind of spiraled out of control after that, and then they did a revival season back in 2017, only about a year ago. And I actually like the revival season, I think, even a bit better, because while the original series does have a charm to it, it is very great. It is very entertaining, and it's got some great humor, and it just feels kind of lighthearted despite how dark the material is. It's still got some of that really cheesy. It wasn't made during the golden era of television like so many of the shows now are, so it's still got cheesy soap opera elements to it, because like I said, it was trying to appeal to a wide audience, so they tried to force some soap opera elements into that to draw more people in, by blending all these genres. It's got some really 90s television, some weird lighting choices, fades to black, cliffhangers before commercial breaks and everything. It does feel very dated and very of its time occasionally, but it is a great show. When you look past the surface of all of the weird dated elements of it, it is a great show. And the revival season is great too, although it does have problems of its own. The revival season, because David Lynch is known for being a very avant-garde, a very experimental filmmaker, and he had much tighter control of the reins in the return season than he did in the original series. The return season does at times feel a little bit like it's being weird for the sake of being weird. They don't always properly utilize the characters in the original show, and at times it just feels really bizarre, and like I said, like it's trying too hard to be weird and out there and quirky. But both series, it's like the original series is like 30 episodes. The revival season is 18 episodes. It's a quick watch, but it is a very, very fascinating show. Great soundtrack by Angelo Badalamenti. David Lynch really directs the hell out of the episodes that he does. He puts some really strange elements into there, and when they focus more on the supernatural stuff, it really works. So I wanted to pay a little bit of a tribute. There's so many characters, it focuses on so many different people that I couldn't make the entire cast, but I at least wanted to make Dale Cooper. So as you can see right there, I did make him. I'm going to take him out, and I'm going to show you him in a close-up in just a second. But first I just want to show you, I made this little display stand for him that I just thought would be kind of cool, because I just, I don't know, I wanted to I didn't want to just put him on a regular display stand. I wanted to kind of color contrast him with the red and white of the Black Lodge, which is like the supernatural dimension that the characters get lost in. So if you take a look at this little display stand, as you can see, we've just got this little, it's basically just a white tiled floor that I painted all this weird zebra stripe pattern onto, just like in the series. And then it's got this these red curtains in the background, so I kind of painted the little gap between the curtains and the floor right there towards the bottom of the red, and then just all these lines representing the curtains. And there's a little stud for him to stand on right there. This thing is on a swivel, so it can hinge like so. And then this side we've just got a little bit of the town entrance to Twin Peaks. You can see we've just got some rocks in the ground, this little rocky area that kind of serves as, just like where the hinge goes. And then this thing that I put probably more work into than I actually put into making Dale Cooper was this Twin Peaks sign. As you can see, it's being held on by these axle bricks right here, and you can see that's kind of how it's built. But I took a 6x6 tile that I got in the Lego board game, and if I'm gonna try focusing on there, I painted the Twin Peaks entrance, the town entrance sign, as accurately as I could. It's one of the most time-consuming, or it wasn't super time-consuming, but it was one of the most stressful paint jobs I've ever done. It was very hard to get it to look, accurate. I want to make it look as accurate as possible. I debated just printing off a sticker and putting that on there, but I really wanted to paint it, and because I felt like I'd be prouder of it if I were to do that. As you can see, it's just some trees in the background, or some trees in the foreground, and then you've got the mountains and the sky in the background, little lines between the boards of wood and the sign. Welcome to Twin Peaks, population 51,201, just like in the show. It's actually only 5,201. There's just like a little hidden joke within the show, is that there's actually not 51,000 people there. It just says that on the sign, because that's one of the weird David Lynch-isms from the show. But yeah, now that the little display stands out of the way, let's get started with the Dale Cooper minifigure.
Diane, 11:30 a.m., February 24th. Entering the town of Twin Peaks. It's 5 miles south of the Canadian border, 12 miles west of the state line. Never seen so many trees in my life.
So here is Special Agent Dale Cooper. He is essentially our outsider character who was sent into Twin Peaks, the FBI agent that comes to investigate the death. And he kind of serves as our focal point for the majority of the series. Well, pretty much the entire series. It's kind of an ensemble cast piece, but he always remains our core main character. So I painted him based on the way he looks in The Return, which essentially isn't really that much different than how he looked in the original series. The only difference is I just put more lines in his face, and his hair is a little different. But the suit design would pretty much be the same for both figures. As you can see, a little speck right there. Let me wipe that off. There we go. You can see he's just kind of wearing this little basic black suit. No really detail in the pants. You can kind of see the suit jacket kind of coming down on his belt area right there. Some creases in the jacket, some buttons, and then some creases by the little buttons right there. These little side pockets, then the lapels, and this little silver button he's wearing right there. And then, of course, you can see his suit and tie underneath, with his little skin showing by the collar of his shirt. Really no detail on his arms. I did paint, it's kind of hard to tell, but I did paint the white of his sleeves coming down to his arms right here, because that's how it looked in the reference pictures I was using. So the white from his shirt does come down to a little area on his arms right here. As far as the back detail goes, you can just see the bottom lining of the suit jacket, and then just some creases in the suit, and then the collar of his suit jacket. Fairly standard. And then his face is it's like a Star Wars background character face, like they use them on the Imperial Troopers a lot, I know, with just extra wrinkles painted into it to make him look more like the actor that plays Agent Dale Cooper, Kyle MacLachlan, who's fantastic, by the way. He's also in Blue Velvet, I believe. Great movie, and a fantastic job in the show as well. So I just painted some lines around his eyes. You can see a little line kind of by his eyebrows, and some lines by his mouth and by his chin a little bit, just to capture his likeness as best as I could. And then I also did give him the Superman hair, which I also sanded or cut off the little spit curl. And then I did also, it's kind of hard to tell, but I did dry brush some gray into it as well to make him, to kind of show age. His hair isn't really that gray in the series, but I wanted to show a little bit of age, so I just decided to go with that. I thought that was a cool detail. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my Twin Peaks display and Dale Cooper minifigure. Very underrated show, I think, at least based on today's audiences. I think a lot of people, it was huge back when it was out in the early 90s when it was first airing. But not enough people really know about it now. The Return series is a little bit of a pain to find. I had to buy the Blu-rays. Otherwise, you can use the Showtime app. If you have a Showtime account, you can just log in and watch them all there. But the original series, the first 2 seasons, or those are really the only 2 seasons other than The Return, are both on Netflix. So I highly recommend you check it out if you want to see some high quality but also cheesy 90s television with a great story, great music, great characters, and just an overall really fun series. So let me know what you think of it down in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think of the series if you've seen it, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching. Peace out. Damn good coffee.